Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
What up? What up? Welcome again to This Week in White Supremacy. As you see, unfortunately, unfortunately, but Miracle's not with us today. She's on her Sagittarius adventure tip. You know what I'm saying?
Terrorizing the globe. Sagittarianism.
Globetrotting. So
I like that. Sagittarianism. That's funny.
Sagittarianism, yes. Bro.
Yeah, so she's unfortunately not going to be with us today. And this also is our final show of the year. We're going to get some rest and self-care over these next couple of weeks. So this is our final show. So we know white supremacy ain't going to stop, but we got to stop sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. We gotta relax a little bit. So I guess introductions. I'm Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, rocking my reject. You know what I'm saying? Fresh sweatshirt, you know what I'm saying? Trouble NLS's own dope line, you know what I'm saying? Happy to do that. Twinless, is that what you? Oh, the Sheik of what? The Sheik of what?
The Sheik of shade, man. The Sultan of slime. You get me? all of that. You get me?
Sheik of shade. Oh my God. Yes. and Trouble. I guess you could.
It's your boy Trouble NLS. Never like supremacy. Hear my little brother in the back. You might catch a glimpse of him. He has my face on him.
What's up? What's up, Trouble and little bro? And what's
up to you, bro?
What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Man, he is wearing your face, bro.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, the genes are strong in that family.
Absolutely. So definitely, we want to start with some rest. Speaking of genes, man, definitely rest in peace to your pops, Trouble, and you know what I'm saying, just let you know,
sure.
Our community is with you and your family, and that could be our that we're gonna have that be our call to action. So if you get that link to link ready, you can have that be a call to action and support you and your family in this time of need. We also want to say, rest in power to Bell Hooks, man, an incredible author, cultural critic, feminist scholar. A lot of people I saw on my timeline attribute their, awakening, feminist awakening to Bell Hooks' writing. She's a prolific writer. I had a dope conversation with one of my mentors, Bakari Katwana, who's also an author, who knew her since 1988, man, and just gave me a lot of insight. So comments on Bell Hooks, Farouk, Trouble?
I remember Talia put me on to Bell Hooks early, a couple years ago, and it was just it was an eye-opening experience back when but when I didn't know how to read, I just kind of looked at the covers and was like, oh man, these books look really dope. I wish someone would read them to me. But no, yeah, I think when you talk about classic American literature, we always leave out Black women and the contributions that clearly that they've made to all these the progresses of literature, and Bell Hooks is at the top of the list, really and truly.
Absolutely. Trouble?
So I actually didn't really know who Bell Hooks was all like that. So now my homework for tonight and the rest of this break is to look into who she is. I plan on buying a few of her books and just checking her out, because I didn't even know she was a poet, and I teach spoken word. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And she, I think, I know All About Love and Killing Rage were two of the books from Bell Hooks that we put out as our white pages. They're in our white pages. So we definitely got a lot of Bell Hooks in our white pages, and would recommend anybody doing that self-discovery, doing that, I guess, inner work. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of, brothers I talked to today said, Bell Hooks was the first to kind of put them up on, feminist ideology and talking about patriarchy and all of this. So definitely rest in power to Bell Hooks, and her influence was tremendous And you know, it's like a, you know, one less warrior against white supremacy that we need, because I mean, we want to kind of do the year-end wrap-up, but there's a lot of white supremacy we got to get to, and specifically a video went viral from a judge in Lafayette, Louisiana, who was caught being a real self. You know what I'm saying? This be the thing, right? You know what I mean? Like,
She recorded herself.
Recorded herself. So this was a judge. I think her name is Judge Odinet.
Her name is fired. Her name is disbarred.
Judge Michelle Odinet. I don't know if I pronounced that. I'm probably not. But yeah, play. And I guess hold on, pause that,
when
John.
I pull up in the whip.
I guess the context is there was some type of robbery or something happened outside of their home, and they were watching the video of what was happening, and they started talking about the video. Let's get it.
The song goes, why are the lights when I pull up in the whip, they be saying, God damn.
Why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, nigger.
Again, we have a nigger. It's a nigger. It's like a roach.
Look, that's me. No, I came from the backside.
He tripped twice. He tripped twice.
I was the only one running.
That's me. Kenny was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
Well, if they're, you know, I just want to say, first of all, like, shout out
That's
to
my phone where it fell out.
I don't think she says nigger again. I think that was her. But shout out. I'm hoping like a roach. Like, so I'm hoping that maybe like one of these white people, her sons, I don't know, like recorded it and put it out there.
I'm about to say, it seemed everybody's really
shit.
It seemed everybody's really friendly with each other in that video, so I'm wondering who would have leaked it, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And but you know what that sounded like to me? That sounded exactly like Kramer's rant at the. It sounded exactly like, because he was like, it's a nigger, right? And like you know, and just history repeating itself.
And it was like so cavalier, like, and they're describing like, I guess they're watching this scene of what's taking place, and the judge, as soon as she sees a black person, says like it's a nigger, and then she's laughing like, yeah, it's a nigger, like a roach. You know what I'm saying? It's a nigger, like, and to know like you're a judge, you sit in this position, and it's supposed to be unbiased, and of course, you know, you're supposed to be blind. You have any comments, Trouble, on this Judge Michelle?
Yeah. So my comment is about like who leaked the video. Honestly, the way it was recorded, it seems as though like this is so normal to them that like nobody thought that they were doing anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like 100%. You had to have seen the camera pointing at the TV, but like they're loud and blatant with the racism. Almost like, who cares? Everyone around us does this shit, so we're not gonna get in any trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the energy that I felt radiating from the video, for real.
Yeah, I mean, right. It was like, it was another day. It was just something that they do regularly, right? They just call people niggas. And it was, you know, it was just like you said, like you got caught, like somebody actually caught you in your real environment. Well, you know, a lot of statements was, so she put a statement out asking for understanding.
What do we got?
Yeah, what is there to understand about that? Oh yeah, we understand that you're a racist. So yeah,
she likes to say nigga. You understand that she says nigga in her daily life, like, I mean,
and she needs to understand that she needs to give that seat up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so she said understanding, forgiveness, patience, and prayers for her and her son.
Nah, we thought some prayed out, my nigga. We thought some prayed out.
Yeah, but Papa like John's got the last of our prayers.
You know what I mean? But real ingredients, real niggas.
Right. I mean, but I guess the question becomes like, what, like, you know, like, and then, you know, did you have understanding for these black people that came before your bench? Did you have understanding and prayer and compassion for them? More than likely, no. You know what I'm saying? You didn't. Obviously, how cavalierly you use the word nigga. Like, and remember, like, it wasn't, they were saying nigga. Nobody was like, you know how you be like, you know, somebody says that, like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Nobody checked them. Nobody was like, hey, let's not use that language. They was like happily saying nigga. Yeah, they was like, yo. Oh, wait, hold up. This is I didn't know this. Hold on. She said I was given a sedative.
What?
So sedatives just make you racist.
I'm about to say. What type of?
I was given a sedative at the time of the video. I have zero recollection. Okay, so like with that, remember the guy said what he has diabetes and he took his diabetes medicine and it caused him to call everybody the N-word.
I mean, the man who planted the bombs in Pittsburgh, his cop out was I do heroin 5 times a day so I can plant bombs. Like they just say whatever at this time, man. Like what sedative makes you that lively though? Like what sedatives will amp you up? That's not how sedatives work.
A sedative is going to make you racist? That's what you're saying? Like, there she is.
Hey.
There she is. Somebody may have not. Somebody may or may have not. Right. Somebody may or may have not used the word Sagittarius.
No, you're not. And said what? And said what?
Somebody.
You go ahead. Tell me what was said. What was said?
It was a pretty cool term, though.
Yeah.
We know you get your globe tried on. So, Miracle, we are talking about your perfect timing, Miracle. We're talking about this.
No,
judge.
So like if drugs make people racist, were y'all sober when you called me a terrorist? I just have questions.
Well, a Sagittarius. I don't, not like an actual, not like an actual terrorist, like a.
La el habi, Sagittarius. Not a terrorist.
I think that was the shake of shade threw that at you.
Hopefully she gets barred. I feel like a few years ago, Roseanne Barr was like the Ambien made me racist, and every time,
oh my god,
every time somebody says something ignorant, they just say it's because they were racist.
Yeah, so is that, is that a possibility for disbarment that she used racist language? Because I know people are calling for her resignation, but I haven't heard anybody go as far as to say she should be disbarred. Is that a possibility?
Disbarred, no, but she can be removed from the bench from making racial slurs. Funny as it is, Pennsylvania, we just retired Judge Manning, who had not 1 but 2 incidents of being accused of using racial slurs and was never convicted of his trial. And when he resigned or retired last week, nobody made mention of that. So again, there is a legacy of judges using racial slurs allegedly and not being removed. But because she's on tape saying it multiple times and laughing, it does go to not only her judgment, but her ability to be objective and fair and balanced within her courtroom, and people can say remove her from the judge.
Can we pull up the statistics for her convictions? Like what percentage was black, what percentage was white, what sentences look like for black people?
Somebody will have to Google that, and I don't know who's going to do that. I don't know. Maybe if John. I'm
sure the internet will. If they're not already on it.
Yeah, but we just actually had. What was the judge here? We had a judge who referred to a black woman as like Aunt Jemima, a Judge Tranquilly, who was caught, and he was, it was on tape, right? He was caught on tape. He was caught in court using he didn't use the N-word, but he was definitely using like racially charged stereotypes at black defendants. He was, kind of removed from the bench for that. So to me, if he's calling somebody Aunt Jemima, or I think he called a black woman, like he was saying like she was a crackhead or some he was using these negative terms. If he can be removed for that, if you like saying nigga and laughing with your family saying nigga, like to me, the least you could do is be removed. You know what I'm saying? That could be the least thing. You know what I mean? Any other comments on the judge? Any other comments on Sagittarianism as a whole?
Why do we have to say the term? First of all, that I will not. You're not stand
for Sagittarius slander.
I will not stand for this. I will fight.
Of course you will.
It's the best people on the planet, and I'm not about to let this happen. I see how y'all do me when I'm not here.
Of course you're gonna fight. That's what Sagittarius do. They fight.
Wait till I come back next week. Your tires, your gas tanks.
Wow. Sagittarius.
Matching energy.
Sagittarianism. Sagittarianism.
You call it terrorism. I call it matching energy.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So speaking of matching energy, it's wild, to see And you gotta, part of me, like, I feel like you gotta give it up to some of these racists. Like, they'll take a word. I mean, here, like, Republicans took critical race theory and made it something that is not. And they basically take it and they just say it over and over and over again until it has a different meaning. It's fascinating to watch. And so they did, they did with woke as well. So, Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, one of the biggest Trump supporters, he wants to run for president. And he's talking about this whole thing around what's going on, y'all. Is something?
I don't know. I saw them laughing, and like now I'm
laughing. What's happening? Is something happening?
Reference to private conversation.
Oh, you saw with shoulders moving. I'm like, what's happening?
Is this a private? What's going on, brother? Did you want to share?
You cannot say that out loud.
Okay, I can't. Yeah. Okay.
No, don't say that out loud. So we have video of Ron DeSantis at his Stop Woke tour. Did you want to play that, John, and give the twins a chance to stop laughing at whatever they're talking about, which we don't know about?
So today we are going to be introducing to the public, and we have legislators who are going to help us with this, a new piece of legislation for the upcoming legislative session called Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act, the Stop Woke Act. And it's something that...
Get this shit the fuck off my screen, bro.
Wait, hold on.
And this will do a number of things that are very important.
Pause that for a second, John. Pause that.
Is that a black woman behind him?
He said, it's Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids. And where's the A at? Like, you said Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids. It's not woke, bro. You gotta, I'm sorry. That was just, yeah.
Maybe it's against. Maybe he just, I don't know, man. Like, yo, bro, get this. This shit is corny. Like, bro, what I don't understand, yo, John, give me some time, please, bro. What I don't understand is why is it white people, specifically on the right, always slandering woke culture, but stay telling their constituency to wake up? I don't get. Where is it? So you co-opting our shit just to steal it and use it again. I don't make this make sense to me. Make this make sense to me. Stop woke. Woke where, my nigga? Like, how?
I think also, I think when you're looking at it, you're also talking about they're trying to make a law, right? They want to do similar to Texas, where they can sue schools or sue teachers, even fire teachers, that they catch teaching, quote unquote, critical race theory or anything around. So it's like a freeze where, like, if you have a teacher that's conscious and maybe want to bring certain aspects or elements into a school, you can't do that anymore. Like, you have to, it's to freeze that. So, as crazy as it is, they're talking about a law that's actually going to have real ramifications for teachers that attempt to teach anything outside of what they give the teachers. You know what I'm saying? Trouble Miracle, what's your thought on the Stop Woke Act?
I feel like that's super embarrassing. And my good sis up there, she knew, if you look at her face, she knew she shouldn't have been up there. I don't know what her ethnicity is, but she knew she should not have been up there, and was just like, but it's actually ridiculous, and it's really, really sad that this is where we are. Again, I came on late when y'all were slandering me, so I don't know if we talked about how the Proud Boys were saying that they're going to be focused on schools and focused on school board races. But this goes to show, like, we are really, not to steal from like Joe Biden, like, in the battle for the soul of the nation via education, because these people are being really stupid. But Florida, like, to my knowledge, aren't they like in just a few steps above Mississippi for like reading and writing and writing? Like, no.
That's not hate. That's real.
Wouldn't they
still
be
funny?
Wouldn't they be like the poster child for culturally competent education? Because clearly what they have right now is not working for them. And if we're getting into a more competitive global society, you would think that they would be investing in education and not targeting teachers that relate to children in very unique and specific ways. That's
Right.
what I was going to say.
And then even going a step further, Miracle, I mean, Florida is where probably when you think about the most infamous school shootings over the last few years is where Parkland happened. And we didn't see nobody get together and pass no acts. There was no acts. There was no protection for the kids. And so the idea that like we have to protect these children from this ideology, but we can't do anything when it comes to actually protecting children against actual bullets, right? Like literal, like bullets, machine guns, whatever. Oh no, we can't do anything to stop that. It's freedom. It's American freedom. But then, bringing like real history into the school. Oh no, we actually have to get together and find some type of law to stop that. That's also wow. You know what I'm saying? It shows that kind of backflipping that, white supremacy has to do to try to, pretend that they care about themselves. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
You have anything, Trouble?
Yeah. So when I think about woke, when I think about woke, to be woke means to be aware, right? To be aware of what's going on, to be aware of reality as it is and not as we perceive it. And I also know that like once you're quote unquote woke, that also comes with a responsibility. Now that you're aware of reality, now you're responsible for, basically reframing your thinking so that you're not contributing to the reality that you are not aware of. Right. And I feel as though this rhetoric that they keep tossing around about this woke movement is them literally in our faces deflecting responsibility. It's like, I don't want the responsibility of having to realize how racist this country is and how I contribute to it. I don't want the responsibility of having to deal with children questioning my beliefs and thoughts. I don't want the responsibility of having to have my own thoughts about things. I just kind of want to accept the thoughts that they give me on television and it be like that, live my comfortable white supremacist life. Yeah. So it's just like, that's the game that I see played.
You don't want your Thanksgiving messed up and one of your children coming and asking like a real history question, your Christmas. You don't want one of your children talking about, hey, was Jesus actually black? Because according to what I'm saying,
right?
According to the Bible,
according to what the wool. Yeah, we actually read the real Bible. Like you don't want that. Like you said, you want things. You want this ideology that and the idea that like education. Even the idea that education comes without an ideology is ridiculous. Like, as any person of color that you want to see education with ideology, go ask my man in California, you know what I'm saying, when he was recording his teacher jumping up and down, pretending to be Native American in his face, like he didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So ideology comes with every education because anybody that walks in that school, you walk in with a particular ideology, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool if the ideology is white supremacy and it's about, what George Washington never told a lie and all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? That's great. but if you want to come with an ideology where you're talking about like the real history, an ideology like Bell Hooks, who we referenced at the beginning of the show, right? That becomes an issue and that becomes a problem. Now, of course, he invoked Martin Luther King.
Of course he did. Why is that always the go-to? Why is it like, there needs to be a fine every time a white person misquotes Dr. King, and it needs to be jail time for every time they do it in a public space.
That's our new act. Stop misquoting. We gotta put like a like smack, like stop misquoting. I don't know, it's like something with Dr. King. We gotta come up with our own act. You know what I'm saying?
Stop misquoting ancestor. I don't know, King, ancestor King. Yeah, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like it's egregious because they always follow stay woke or wake up following abolish wokeness always follows a Martin Luther King quote that's out of context. It's just like the jab 1-2, man. It's just so fucking tired, man. And his what was it Martin Luther King III? He ain't helping out either.
Nah, I mean, he kind of has been a little bit quiet, but shout out to, is it Bernice King that's been doing all the work?
Bernice has been working. She been out here working. I wonder what that Thanksgiving conversation sound like.
Should be interesting. So do y'all want to get into our year-end, you know what I'm saying? Like our year-end conversation. Like, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, what the most kind of racist event of the year I mean, and it was kind of wild to me that we actually, were live that Wednesday, like as the Capitol was being breached. You know what I'm saying? As white people were like climbing up literally climbing up the walls of the
shitting
Capitol.
on the walls.
I mean, we had our show. That was our first show of the year.
What did they wipe with?
What do you mean?
Like, if they're smearing poop on the walls,
you
do
don't
they
wipe
clean
at that
themselves?
point. You don't, bro. You just take it and.
But
I'm
what
guessing.
Animals? But what animals?
I mean, so I guess, I mean, it's clear, like, but it's their hands. They wipe with their hands, bro. But so I guess, I mean, information came out this week. Trump's chief of staff at the time, Mark Meadows, turned over his, I guess, cell phone. And they talked about, he got text messages from Sean Hannity, text messages from Laura Ingraham, text messages from actually, which was wild, Don Jr. Like Don Jr., all like begging him to ask Donald Trump to make some type of statement to try to stop this, stop January 6th from happening.
So Donald Trump Jr. was like, yo, tell my dad to tell these niggas to calm down.
And of course, I immediately think about secession. Like, like this dude don't even got his dad's cell phone. Like he gotta go. He can't just go directly to his dad. Like he gotta go through another person to get to his dad. That's wild to me because, obviously, his dad wasn't answering. So I mean, again, like, we're coming up on a year anniversary. Is there going to be any type of real consequence?
I'm waiting for him to run it back.
What
I think it's
bro?
wild that you eat.
You can't wait a half an hour, brother. You can't wait a half hour before you just go eat in the middle of the show.
I think it's mad wild that you eat.
White supremacy makes you hungry, brother. Is that
just disrespectful?
So you said no, Miracle. I mean, despite all the video that we have video of these white people beating up officers. We have video of Donald Trump egging them on and other people. I guess the Stop the Steal guy, he got some civil type of thing. Like we have video of the black dude that looked like Sammy Davis Jr. I don't know his name, but we got video of these people talking about it. We have video of.
But you know what?
Wait, hold on, Miracle. We have video of Majority Green coming out saying we were at the White House discussing the rally on the 6th. We have all of this. What are we missing?
That white people do not like to hold other white people accountable. And it's not even like racist white people. It is your Bidens who are like, I just want to move past this. It is your Nancy Pelosi's who are like, I just want to move past this. It is not like racist. It's not racist like caping for other races. And that's kind of the problem. But what's really interesting with Ali, the guy who is the Stop the Steal dude, a few years ago, there was a fat man who wanted to do a dance party, and I forgot.
Don't be ableist, Miracle.
I was not ableist. Let's listen to the story. But he wanted to dance, and they wouldn't let him dance because he was plus size. So this person flew him over to the U.S. to throw a party, and you remember that, right? It was a whole thing.
I do remember it. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
This guy and these other people then started a competition about what they could do on social media that would show up in real life. That's where the rumors about Stop the Steal came from. That's where Pizzagate came from. That's where all of this stuff actually was birthed. It literally was a competition to get real people in real life to do stuff based on what was on social media. So you remember the Milo, whatever his name was, he was doxing and harassing Leslie. So the fact that all these people ran up into the Capitol was literally a modern day like
flash mob.
like War of the Worlds, like back in the day.
I bet you can't make somebody run the Capitol. I bet you can't do this. And that's basically our democracy has fallen to people who literally sit in their basements and go off on social media and do a measuring contest. And like we're all the worst off for it. And that's literally where all of this stuff came from.
Well, a Miracle. If there's a contest, whoever came with that QAnon stuff, they won. I mean, because if you got people, if they was able to get white people to go to Dallas, Texas, thinking that JFK Jr. was coming back, like, and you had people out there like, you win, like whatever you doing, whatever sauce you putting in your lies, like that's some wild shit. I mean, I would have never imagined that, you know, somebody could come out with this QAnon shit and like not 100 people believe it, like thousands, like tens of thousands of people believe this shit, and some are willing to put their lives on the line for it. It's crazy to me.
I literally had somebody look me in my eyes and say, be careful if you ever have kids. You know the Democrats are going to steal them to eat their blood so they can be stronger. Literally. Like, it is mind-boggling. How
And just the Democrats. Just the Democrats.
It's mind-boggling what these people really believe.
Don't you have blood of Christ in church?
Well, you know, I'm a good atheist, so I don't really know about this.
But no, who remembers when I thought that QAnon was like the LGBTQ?
Yes, we do. That was one of our unfortunate moments of the year, brother. That you thought QAnon has something to do with the LGBTQ.
He was like, "Is Queer Anonymous? Why are the Queer Anonymous?"
Man, I had no idea. I had no clue. I just kept seeing it. I was like, "Why? Like, I don't get it. Like, I thought they were the enemy. Like, I didn't."
But it is a thing. And it's fascinating, miracle, but scary that people can put stuff on the internet and just people will just believe it with no fact checking, no nothing. Share it, believe it, run with it. If it comes with their own ideologies.
You mean like Listerine curing COVID? You mean like drinking bleach to cure COVID?
Drinking bleach, right? Putting lasers in our. Bro. I mean. This is your people.
But I mean, listen, that was all of 2020 with the whole pandemic. Man, elderberries is going to cure the whole world. Black people can't get COVID. Remember, it was just
Do you think? Do you agree with Miracle, Farouk and Trouble? Like, are anybody? Maybe the black guy, is anybody going to be held accountable for what happened on January 6th?
They go listen.
The black guy.
Definitely. If anybody, he gonna get life.
If American history has taught us anything, it's to blame it on the black guy works 1,000% of the time.
It does. It does work. It does work. You know what I'm saying?
And all he did was come to work. All he did was come to work.
Who?
The officer, the black officer.
No, we're not talking about the black officer. We're talking about
the Sammy Davis looking dude.
The Sammy Davis stopped the steal dude.
Oh
no,
yeah,
the black officer didn't do nothing. What did he do?
He did. Did he shoot that woman?
No, that wasn't the
same
he
officer. Did. We're talking different than black officer.
Yeah, it's two different black officers, bro.
Oh, damn.
But I wonder if the black officer regrets. Not saying he shouldn't have done anything, but I wonder if he regrets being a hero that day. Because
I'm sure. Listen.
He stopped everything from getting bad. And
no good deed goes unpunished. That's what he learned that day.
But I think what Miracle's saying, like, what if they were able to get in and do something? Like, would that have been the moment to like wake America up? Would maybe somebody had got punished then? Like, if the brother hadn't been so intelligent on his feet
I'm with you.
To kind of trick these white folks, like, would maybe somebody would have been prosecuted? Maybe Trump. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Trouble. What you think, man?
I mean, man. Honestly, I don't think that January 6th was the most racist thing that happened this year. I think it was definitely one of them, but I don't think it was the most.
What's the most one, bro?
I think the most racist shit that has been going on is everything happening around critical race theory, because it's blatant. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like obvious as to what the rhetoric is against critical race theory. And it's like, bro, you want to basically move past the discussion of race as though race isn't the discussion that has caused everything that we face these days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every issue that we come across has to do with how race is perceived and how the difference of race is perceived by a certain group of people who still want their race to reign supreme. You know what I'm saying?
Great point. Anybody, any comments on the critical race boogeyman in the room? Y'all agree?
More racist than January 6th.
Correct.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going, but like January 6th was that, you know, bro, that's shit that's not supposed to happen in America.
Yeah.
Right. That's not supposed to happen. Right. Like anytime that you've had dissent amongst parties like that, they were always able to handle it in Capitol Hill or in the chambers of Congress. Right.
We're civilized, right?
Yeah. That was the whole, you know, bro, the last time some shit like that happened in a civilized world, George Washington sailed over this motherfucker and escaped the Queen.
And the reality, and I think too, like I agree with you. I think like critical race theory probably has more long-term ramifications. But when you look at when you look at January 6th, like if that we've seen like those, like if that video was any other country,
you'd be like, oh, that's Tuesday.
America would be condemning
Wednesday.
it. They would be talking about how crazy we're a democracy. We do things the right way. What's wrong with these third world countries?
Because that just happened in Myanmar. It was just happening in Myanmar when they drove the tanks up to the Capitol building and they performed a coup. It was like a few days right before that.
Yeah. And so like
America condemned it all.
So I feel like you're right in a long-term sense, because you're, like you said, they're making laws. I mean, Texas passed a law that said you can't teach on the Holocaust unless you both sides of the Holocaust. That's some wild ass shit. You know what I'm saying? To say in 2021. So that probably has longer ramifications, but I don't know. And there's just something about seeing them white people climbing on the side of the building. I don't know. It was just a thing where like you knew, like we knew white people was gonna be mad that Trump lost, but goddamn, like we didn't know y'all was gonna come to the Capitol with nooses looking for Mike Pence, like to hang that motherfucker. Right. Like I didn't like even us who talk about white supremacy all the time, who live this shit. We didn't think white people was gonna go that. Like y'all really going there?
That shit looked like an outlet mall on Black Friday. Like, yo, straight the fuck up, bro. Like, yo, swear down. It looked like Black Friday out that motherfucker, man. They was losing. They got that. They shit on the wall. I can't get over that. They shit on the wall.
One more question. The last question on this is like, you know, the 1 year end of like, how should we memorialize that 1 year after? Like, what should we do? Should we do anything?
Someone
I feel like everybody who has
no, we're not going to shit on the wall and wipe it on the wall for that's.
I honestly feel like
us, but someone needs to.
No, I think everybody who's about to pay student loans needs to like, no. I'm not about to be Ollie and be. Y'all not about me for the.
Have us? We gonna roll up on the Capitol. Stop the payments.
Gang banging on Sally Mae.
You know what? Stop the payments does have a nice ring to it.
Stop the payments.
I mean, okay, we're about to organize. Okay, but can we make it maybe like, I don't know, January 6th is kind of a little cold. Maybe can we? So are we getting buses? Miracles? Is that what we're doing?
Not to like jump the gun, but One Hood Power will be doing something on January 6th. That's not like this. So I'm
about to say, you gotta choose your words carefully.
I know, just to be on the safe
under the jail. No, but we will be doing something on January 6th to galvanize and support and defend, you know, civic engagement and democracy. So follow like One Hood Power. Wink, wink. It's nothing criminal, so please, you don't need to tap anything. It's just a rally. We'll be doing that on January 6th.
Is that what Stop the Steal said?
We will be pushing for our legislation and change. We will not be engaging in any acts of crime or violence.
Stop the payments. I like it. We got to put it together. Stop the payments. You know what I'm saying? We about to get shirts. We about to do it big. We about to do Stop the Payments big.
We about to do it. We about to drop a video tomorrow. Freestyle Friday.
So I know this is kind of off topic, but I mean, this is a miracle, but this is to everybody else. Are they are they trying to lose? Like I'm looking at Joe Biden and them.
Do not like to rule, and I really wish somebody, especially all those people who are mad that we launched BlackPittsburgh.com. I really wish somebody would do a deep dive into the fact that like nobody really got funding from the state DNC and the federal DNC this past election cycles outside of national races that a lot of people lost. Most people got 1 or 2 flyers and maybe like $5,000 or $10,000 text messages. People didn't get no money, no support, no laborers, nothing. And so Democrats are not trying to win big. They have no strategy, and they really just want people to vote for them out of rage and fear and desperation because we know other people are going to be trying to like really kill us. But you know, the GOP is waking up, and they really are trying to, you know, go out here and, you know, allegedly bridge the divide and steal my ideas about brunching and stuff, but I'm gonna let that go. But they're really out here trying to get a lot of people of color on their side. So the Democrats better wake up and actually give people policies, or we're just gonna be SOL.
Yeah. Saeed and
it's been a lot of people, Miracle, and I was hoping you would come in and talk on this. There's been a lot of people saying that Trump wouldn't have left the hood dry, that Trump would have canceled these student loans, that Trump would have had some money back on the end, right? Helping people
Trump wanted to win. Trump said, whatever I got to do, if I got to pardon Lil Wayne and get Kodak Black free, I'm going to do that, right? Joe said, I'm a promise, I'm going to give you a little bit until I don't need you. But the problem is people are really going to vote for Trump, and Black people are going to vote for Trump en masse. Because at the end of the day, like,
that's a fact.
Every day when we see a new Black rapper got a federal charge, a new Black person got a federal charge, this PPP scam, federal charges. So all we see is Joe Biden's America coming down hard on us, where Trump was out here like, free the guys, free the team.
So can I ask you this, Miracle?
No, I will not be voting for Trump in 2024.
Should we have not voted for Biden? Should we have not?
No, because I like my freedom right now. So like, nah, you gotta play the long game. At the end of the day, it would have been worse, especially for people who are queer, especially for people who are immigrants. We knew that Pence had promised people to roll back, gay marriage. We knew that a lot of stuff was going to be taken back from HBCU funding. We knew women were really going to be losing a lot of rights and reproductive freedoms. We knew that everyone was going to be losing
more than they've already lost now.
Yeah, more than they already lost now, right? But what we failed to do, I will say, is when it was important, and going back to white supremacy, because everybody wanted to make sure that Hillary Clinton was the one who put up Supreme Court nominations, and Hillary Clinton was the one to do this, and not the Black guy with the funny name. When the Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the White House under Barack Obama, they could have passed all of this legislation. They could have put up Supreme Court justices, because people would have retired, but RBG wanted a woman president to replace her. And here we are in the muck of the mire, because they didn't want the Black man at the time to be the one to change it. So here we are.
In the what?
Muck in the mire, bro.
I've never heard that before in my life.
You've never heard muck and mire?
No.
Wow. Well, we're in some bad shit, you know. Like, it's not on the wall.
I mean, that was just like a beautifully country saying. That was just like, I like it.
The muck in the mire. I got it. So yeah, I know we kind of went off a tangent, but it's wild to me, because like you said, I'm just seeing it play out, and I'm like, nobody is gonna vote for these people. Like there's no way. But I think, you know, for us, I think what we did was we built momentum locally, and I would just encourage folks to like work where you are locally. That's what I encourage folks to do. So we got a couple of different, you know, we normally do like a sound of the police. We normally do, speaking of, so sound of the police, we can go there, because if we talked about like a sound of the police for the year, the person who was actually on the most covers, the most,
that's the sound of the beast.
Yeah. The person who was on the most this week in white supremacy covers was Derek Chauvin. You know what I'm saying? Ironically,
how many get? 4?
Out, I want to say 3 or 4, but it came out today that he pleaded guilty to federal charges, People said that he did that because he didn't want to get a life
He
sentence.
didn't want to go to life sentence.
Right. So what do you all feel about, but they're saying maybe he could add years to his sentence. How do you all feel about Chauvin getting federal time? Does it mean anything? Is it going to change anything?
Concurrent?
What do y'all think? I don't know.
He hasn't been sentenced yet, so we don't know if it runs concurrent. Traditionally, I will say from my experience with drug cases, when it's a state and federal charge for the same thing, it usually runs consecutive because everyone likes to put people down for a long time. But if he has a lawyer who fights for him, it should run concurrent. But usually they run them consecutive.
Right, because usually you got to do your state time. Because I know that's what happened with what was it, White Boy Rick? Like he did.
Yeah, White Boy Rick. He did state time, then he had to do Fed time.
Then he had to go do federal time before he got out. So I mean, does it make you all think that? I mean, we had Chauvin found guilty, the murders of Ahmaud Arbery found guilty. You had a officer in Kansas City found guilty. Is there some type of momentum happening around these cases, or is it just
they gave us more information? I would have to see, like, it's like, because these are high profile cases. Yeah.
True.
So it's like I would need to see, okay, how are they treating the less public cases? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they just doing this to appease public opinion? Or like, do they actually stand behind what it is they're doing with the sentencing and stuff like that?
Farouk, you have something?
Yeah, they gave us. They said we give you niggas too much justice.
No, I mean,
you niggas got too much justice.
No, the murderer Romer Talley just got his job back, right? So I think that it's not about momentum. It's about having some prosecutors who are willing to take on the FOP. And that's literally what we've had to do. And unfortunately, that goes back again to elections and Black and brown people literally having to overcome burnouts to put people in power to like regulate other people's power. So no, I don't think that is changing. But I think that with people waking up and seeing like how violent these officers are and watching how these officers just like hella ruthless, right? Like, right? It's not it's not the shootings. It's just like the lack of you're shooting people. You're not taking them to the hospital. You're not giving them medical care. You're lying on the documents. Like, you can't really justify that.
So I had a couple questions for you, Miracle. One, the murder, is that murder of Romer Talley? Are they saying that's still under investigation? Has the Allegheny County District Attorney's Office done anything about that, or did they dismiss those charges? What's happening?
I thought they finished the investigation, and but we don't know because the paperwork keeps changing and moving back and forth. And that's something that the Wilkinsburg merger is going to have to really look at. But the fact that he went to be an EMT and got his job back, it's going to be very violent for people on the street, because we know that a lot of these officers don't just kill once, and don't. True. And once they discharge, they're likely to discharge again. And so that's something you have to be like very mindful of in Wilkinsburg. But no, there hasn't been like a state, federal, release to my knowledge.
Yeah, because I would think we would have seen it, right? I haven't seen anything that said the DA's office came to any type of conclusion around Romer Talley. So my second question is, we just had a police killing here in Pittsburgh of a man named Jim Rogers. According to an investigation that Channel 11 did, Jim Rogers was tased 8 times. Although EMTs were called, they sent them away without checking Jim Rogers. They drove past the hospital, and then by the time they got to the hospital that they put him in, he ended up dying. According to that investigation, they're saying that up to 6 officers could be fired or disciplined. You had 1 officer retire. In this conversation that Channel 11 did, they did talk with our current mayor, Peduto. He said something to the effect of he expects them to be disciplined before he leaves office. Go ahead.
What is the disciplinary actions? Because we've seen these requests for discipline before.
Not public.
Right. So this, but this is what I'm saying. If they get fired, let's say you get fired.
It's not public.
Is there an opportunity then? Well, we'll know if they're fired or not, right? But would there be an opportunity? Do we have to go to our current district attorney, and does he have to file charges on these officers? Like, do you see a possibility of these officers, at least being negligent in this man's death, like actually facing any criminal charges in the death of Jim Rogers?
I mean, they very likely could, right? I believe they referred it to the Allegheny County police to do the investigation.
Yes, the Allegheny County police is investigating.
And so they said they're waiting on the district attorneys. The pilot said he's waiting on Allegheny County to complete their investigation. We do know there's a citizen police review board who's doing the investigation. We also know the Attorney General, Shapiro, who's running for Senate, lies governor, can also head up an investigation. No one has really announced anything or announced any charges. The issue is outside of actual termination, it's considered a personnel issue, and those are secret. What will happen is if these officers get fired because of the work of Miss Michelle and other folks, other police departments will, if they try to hire these officers, will know what happened and they were the officers involved with Jim Rogers. But we, the people, don't get that information. It's not put out publicly. But yes, you could argue not giving somebody medical assistance rises to the level of negligence and reckless endangerment. So they could have and should have, based upon their training and responsibilities, known better and known at some point that medical assistance was needed prior to booking. So there are ways that a prosecutor who has the will to prosecute can, but outside of a really public report, I don't see this administration doing it. However, the next administration can, because a murder you can indict anytime in any place.
That's true. That's true. Any comments from you all, Saeed Trouble?
What I would say I hope so, because like the fact that he was tased 8 times and they refused medical help and rode past the hospital, just like when I envision it, it's a pure lack of compassion. You know what I'm saying? Complete. Yeah. It's like it seems as though they had the intent to hurt this man. You know what I'm saying? Because they tased him, and it's almost like they felt like he deserved it because they denied him medical. They denied him medical help and drove past a hospital that could have helped him, knowing that he was suffering, or I don't know if they knew he was suffering, or I don't know what was going on.
According to the investigation, they said they thought he was sleeping in the back seat, and did not know that he was actually required. But they said that on the video you heard him like talking about that he was in pain. Obviously, you would be from being tased 8 times in a row. I mean, that is inhumane in its own self. Farouk?
Why is it that if one of us would get arrested, you would read about that shit in the paper, but if a policeman gets sanctioned or disciplined, we can't find out the inner workings of that? Our 501c3 information is public knowledge.
Public knowledge.
It's public knowledge for whatever purpose.
100%.
But to see the recommendation or the recompense, rather, I think I just made up a word, but I'll do that. Fuck it. It's hip hop. Do whatever I want. The recompense for these police officers, right? We can't see what they receive. Why is that? Like, they're harming the community. So the community needs to be made aware of the sanctions against that officer, correct?
Yeah, I mean, so that again, that's like, and that kind of goes to Miracle's point about this next administration, right? They negotiated.
Who asked that question? Who asked that question down below? Who takes a nap after being tased?
Oh, this is Tanisha.
Oh, that's Tanisha. Yeah. That's a great fucking question. Who gets tased to sleep? Like, you get tased unconscious, right?
100%. 100%.
Because you enter in a eurythmia or a cardiac arrest. It's not like you're comfortable out here.
Right, and that's what happened. But I think for us moving forward, it's like, when that next contract comes up, that because the police negotiate this stuff, right? And they have legislators that make it law, right? They legislated. So one of the things they were able to do in New York, they were able to overturn that law that kept the discipline of NYPD officers secret. They were able to get that law overturned. And so that's where the organizing comes into play. Now we're going to be aware. Next time they negotiate with that union, we're going to know, and we're going to want certain things. And now we know some of these laws. We can put our people in there and begin to change these laws. I think that's kind of that organ. That's one of the things that you can do voting wise, at least locally. So y'all want to get into Karen of the Year?
Please.
Do you all have I have a vote for Karen of the Year. Now, there were 3 Karens that appeared on our covers of This Week in White Supremacy. One was the Karen that tackled the young boy. Remember, she thought he took her cell phone. She tackled a young boy in the hotel, and come to find out that she left her cell phone in the car. Then you had the Karen, the teacher who did her Native American dance. And then who I think is Karen of the Year is Victoria's Secret Karen, because that video is 20 minutes long. I mean, this is 20 minutes of we can't even play the whole thing of Karen melting down. She's running towards the sister saying, "Get away from me." I mean, to me, it's not even wait. It's so wild. Come on.
I think we have a winner.
No, but that's not. I mean, well, I don't know. Is that Karen behavior, putting on the kente cloth and kneeling?
I don't know. I mean, it might as well be. Fuck it. Like,
yo,
why not?
I want that like framed and just put in the office. So I could just see it every day
That's
and just
art,
laugh.
man.
I mean,
That's
God. Oh my God. Anybody else?
The arrogance of Nancy Pelosi knows no bounds. I swear to God.
Miracle Trouble. Do y'all have a Karen of the Year? Do you have a Karen that resonated with Kente cloth?
So the Karen that resonated with me was Airplane Karen, who came on to do a whole TED Talk, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was just like, wow, white woman, like you really thought this was your moment on the plane where people were comfy. She had the microphone, the earpiece. She was
went
prepared
to get the Bobby Brown mic. She was like, yo, I want to go. She went to Best Buy and she was like, yo, can I get this microphone for my moment? Miracle,
can this be my Karen of the Year? Can this be my Karen of the Year? I hate that nigga.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
know who you were talking about. That is definitely. Hey,
that's Karen behavior. That's Karen
that
behavior.
brother is exhibiting mad Karen behavior. 1,000%. Miracle, do you have a Karen of the Year?
You know, so many people gonna think you talking about them. Dina, you're not our Karen of the Year. Dina, be over extra. My Karen of the year is going to be Alice Sebold or Seibold, whatever her name is, because she made a whole profit off of falsely accusing that man for raping her. And she never did a full apology, and she basically represents to me peak Karen behavior of these Caucasian women who use their tears, their lies, their proximity to white male supremacy and dominance to basically harm and hurt other Black and brown folks. And I don't understand why people be watching the show and see me on live and text me at the same time. I think it's like so disrespectful. Like, I don't get it. But be that as it may, I think she just represents like peak Karen behavior, and all of the Karens have this idea for this year. To me, it wasn't that they were just harassing Black and brown folks; it's that they were doing it with the intention of getting them arrested and harmed by police. So that is why I use Alice, whatever her name is.
Right. And I think with Alice, people were asking, like, because, you know, she not only got this Black man put in jail who was innocent in his crime, and then she wrote this book and made like millions of dollars off it. Best-selling book, continued to make millions of dollars off her writing. So people have asked, like you said, if she said, hey, here's some money, let me set aside something for you, here's some pain and suffering, but she didn't even admit to her own culpability in it. She like blamed it, oh, the justice system is broke. No, like, you were with the broken justice system. You went on the stand and was pointing at that brother who had nothing to do with it. And so it will be interesting to see if he sues her, I would. I mean, I hope he sues her civilly and he's able to get some money from her. Definitely.
And there's another white woman who was in a similar situation, and her and the black man she falsely accused actually toured the country. I forgot what their name is. Tour the country and talk about the problems with eyewitness testimony, especially after being in a very traumatic event. So I hope that she does something like that in the future, because that policy she gave was like, I'm sorry for what he went through. No, I'm sorry that I did that for what I went through and how I contribute. There was no accountability, and
None.
so
that was the worst. So lastly, go ahead.
Was Amy Cooper 2020 or 2021? The dog park Karen.
I want to say that was 2020, maybe.
Was it?
It was both, because she sued this year, saying she was
to get her job back. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
She first apologized and then came back, and just like you said, peak Karen behavior.
So much has happened. So much happened.
So lastly, let's get into our Black excellence. We try to give you some Black excellence in some of our shows. We've had 2 Black excellence covers that both feature the same person. Our soon-to-be mayor Ed Gagney for Black excellence. Is there any other Black excellence this year that we want to recognize? What? Your other way, Miracle. Other way. Hey. The Black excellence that is Trouble in Alaska.
I forgot. Yes, it's right.
Emmy award-winning
right
Trouble in Alaska. Absolutely. So we're gonna be biased. We're gonna give our Black excellence of the year to Trouble and his.
I appreciate that.
And so, can you just a little bit about what was there a specific moment that inspired you to write that piece? And
yes.
Then, how did the video came about? Just talk a little bit about that piece.
Yeah. So the piece came about last year. They were organizing for the very first Pittsburgh protest around the death of George Floyd, and I think this was like May. Someone hit me up and was like, yo, we need a poet. I'm like, I bet. I ain't got no poems written, though. So I sat down and I wrote this real quick. And it was inspired by a conversation that I had with my best friend's mom, who I call like my Italian mom. And because we were on our way to Philly, she's talking about these Black mentees that she has and how her advice to them is basically like, basically pull your pants up when asked, take your hoodie down so that they don't have to ask you to do it. And I'm like, that sounds wild, because it's like you should really be giving your advice to the white people that they're encountering and telling them, hey, when you see these Black kids with hoods on and their pants sagging, don't demonize them. You know what I'm saying? Make more space for their existence. So that's what inspired the poem. Then, I recite the poem. I put, footage of it on my IG, and Ryan Lowe from Public Source hits me and he's like, yo, I really like that poem. I would love to turn it into a video. I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never did a video to a poem, but this sounds interesting. So he sends me a couple links to his old videos. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be dope. We get some footage. We get me reciting the poem a couple times. And then, fast forward to the beginning of this year, he texts me. He's like, yo, we're about to nominate the poem for an Emmy. I'm like, oh, shit. All right, cool. They're like, yeah, we're going to pay for the whole process. All we need is your information. I send the information. Then August, when we got back from D.C., that's when I get a text from the very next day saying, yo, we got nominated. I was just happy to be nominated. I'm this is history already. I'm going to be nominated for the rest of my life. And then come September, we were all there. They opened up that envelope.
That was September?
Yeah, that was September 25th.
So much has happened.
Yeah.
A lot has happened. So congrats, Trouble, again, our Black excellence of the year. You already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? And then, last but not least, I think I don't know, there's been a lot of I guess you would say Wft Stories of the year. One of my favorite was one that actually John brought up in our pre-production. And it was the story of the man that went to the store and got a pack of bacon only to rub it on the doorknob of his Muslim neighbors. And he got charged with a hate crime. I don't know. That to me, every time I think I identify as Muslim, every time I think of the idea of somebody you bought bacon just to as if like that was some type of harm, like I'm gonna be harmed. I don't know. Is there any other WFT moments or WTF moments that you all can think of that happened this year, the year of white supremacy?
Oh man,
The coach who did the same thing.
There was a coach that did that.
Remember, he made the.
They made the Jewish kid eat pork.
Oh,
it was a black Jewish kid.
Dude. Yeah, that made me want to punch that coach in his face. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he kept missing the play, so he made him eat. Yeah,
that would have been. Yeah, that's not funny to me. That would have been like, that's my child, man. Something's gonna be handled. You know, we're gonna have to pray. We're gonna have to come together and pray. Farouk, Trouble, do y'all have any moments?
I'm like blanking. I feel like we should have researched this more because like I'm blanking right now.
It was a lot. Like,
I got a moment. My moment was when that black girl drew the pictures of her bullies and then got in trouble for it.
Not in trouble, arrested. They brought the cops in her class. To think about like you sit in classroom and they bring a police officer inside the classroom to arrest a child. That is definitely like, what in the fuck? Like, what is going on through your mind?
Elon Musk getting Person of the Year.
Time Magazine Person of the Year.
Elon Musk. Who the wildest shit to me is and I got a lot of friends who think Elon is like Christ when it comes to currency, right?
Kanye, your boy Kanye thinks this.
Right, and that hurts me because it's like Mr. Kanye, slavery was a choice, right? And that still bothers me, even though I continue to stream Donda and buy sneakers. That still bothers me. But Elon Musk is like, he came from a family who built wealth in the emerald mines through apartheid.
Yes.
It's not like this nigga just like hit the lotto or just pulled himself up in his bootstraps and made a car that went to space. That's not how that works. Right, and if anybody's not familiar with the blood diamond trade, where the emeralds, rubies, whatever, these precious stones, it is some of the most insidious ways to earn capital in the world, in the history of the world. It's one of the most exploitative practices. So to champion Elon Musk, who literally built his company with blood money,
right?
Wild to me. But I mean, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, there's also the fact that he got a lot of federal like contract money, you know, a lot of government money, government subsidies to also build his business as well. You know what I'm saying? Remember, this was the same dude that didn't want stimulus checks to be given to poor people, didn't want poor people's wages to be raised. I mean, you know, similar to Bezos and all the stuff that we're seeing with Amazon. I mean, it is kind of wild. Oh,
how a light bulb just went off. How about when all the black people went on strike on TikTok and none of the white creators knew what the fuck to do with their social media accounts? That shit was.
But we did forget. I'm sorry, I said last but not least, we did forget Terry Crews of the year. Is it? We just gonna give it to Terry Crews?
Terry Crews.
He keep it. I just want to say that like Malcolm X did say the most disrespected person was a black woman.
Yes.
And black trans women, black queer women. And we're going to circle back to the beginning of the broadcast when y'all call me a Sagittarius. And I just want to point out the way white supremacy just, you know, impacts all of us. And so it's our duty to ask, you know, where does white supremacy fall in our lives? Where does white supremacy show up in our work?
True.
And why do we use it to call Miracle a terrorist?
Yes,
and
a Sagittarius.
I just think we have to, like, you know, check in with ourselves. But outside, you know, of Terry Crews,
I was victimized by Sagittarius.
I don't believe that you should censor yourself as I talk about my experiences. But
all right, that's where I sign off. Everybody have a good New Year.
You were gonna say something about Terry Crews? You're gonna say something about Terry Crews, Miracle?
Yes, I really lost my train of thought. I was going to say shout out to Alfonso Ribeiro, who was talking about how the black people didn't mess with him; they messed with Will Smith instead of him for some reason. Shout out to I forgot the man who just said he didn't see color.
Oh, I mean, we got, Tim Scott, who said America's not a racist country. You got, Sage Steele, who said Obama shouldn't relate to his black father because he wasn't there. I mean, it was a lot of you just had Herschel Walker's son do his thing. And I don't know if you've seen him with an interview with Dr. Mark Lamar Hill, where Dr. Mark Lamar Hill was like, can you explain one instance where a white person was fired for criticizing a black person and nothing happened? But Lord have mercy. He came back with
I don't think that's spelled correctly.
He got Google. You know how to spell.
Keep on. You're not going to get your chocolate. Keep on.
So any other just last comments, final comments, since it's the last show of the year, before we get to our call to action? Obviously our white pages is anything by Bell Hooks. Google Bell Hooks, pick any book, you know what I'm saying? I know we've had Bell Hooks as our white pages, I think on 3 different occasions. So definitely Bell Hooks. But any last comments before we get to this call to action? Oh, you're on mute, bro. Muted. Oh, I think he's doing it on purpose. No.
I'm sorry. No. On a serious note, it's been a very stressful year at One Hood and just for everybody. So this time that we're taking off, even though you may still see some of us doing things, just because we be on social media and places does not mean we're working, not mean we're out your beck and call. Respect the fact that we are taking some time off. Please respect our boundaries. Please respect our time, space, and the practices of us just kind of relaxing until we see fit to come back and answer your messages. Please and thank you.
Absolutely. Definitely respect that time. We'll see y'all in January. Yes, we are on One Hood Media and we're on our holiday break. Let us get our rest in. You have any final comments, Miracle, about this year?
Yeah, I mean, I will say to echo Farouk's point. I jumped on here. I'm technically supposed to be on break right now. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Dina for letting me jump on here.
Thank you, Dana.
And work. But I told somebody I was not working, and they literally texted me and sent me an email and called me.
That's not
today.
Cool.
So please make sure that I'm going to say it. Every one of us on this show has experienced deep and tremendous loss this year. Even in the past few months, all of us have been attending funerals, grieving, and y'all have been hella disrespectful. And next year we're fighting, right? Next year we running hands. We literally just seriously, I'm not getting fired. So next year it's gonna be on a popping because y'all were hella disrespectful this year, and we were trying to be righteous followers of the universe. But y'all just trash individuals, and I really don't like most of you. But I try to care because I know that y'all are all, recyclable, and you're going through stuff, and systems of white supremacy impact you all. But y'all's disrespect is not going to be tolerated next year as it was this year and the year before. So take that how you want it. But we have a lot of call to action. Well, I think Trouble has to say something before we move to our call to action.
Yes. Well, our call to action is actually connected to Trouble. Did you want to talk a little bit about our call to action, Trouble?
Yeah. So, wow, this is a little bit hard to talk about. So give me a sec.
Absolutely.
This Sunday, I lost my father. I was not expecting that. It just came out of nowhere. But right now we are doing a GoFundMe to pay for the burial. I think we dropped a link in the chat. Anything helps. You know what I'm saying? Anything, even if it's just like $1, $5, share it to people who would be willing to donate. You know what I'm saying? We need around 8K. We're almost at 2K. So thank you to everyone who has donated so far. I appreciate all of the love, all the donations, all of the shares. Thank you so much to my community for being there for me, for holding space and, letting me take the space that I needed to grieve. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate that love and mercury.
Absolutely. No, we appreciate you, brother, even joining us today and being here today. And we definitely, support you and your family. So if you would like to support Trouble's family, the link is in the chat. Definitely do that. You said there was some other stuff happening, Miracle?
Yes. One thing I'm not sure if we can can announce, but another thing is Friday at 4:00 in front of the City County building. There is going to be a rally. The Jim Rogers family is hosting a rally because, again, the report talking about the police officers being terminated or fired. We were promised that we were going to see a video of the interaction.
Body cam footage.
Also,
right.
It's none of this stuff has happened. So that's one thing. Basically, on Monday, if you're in Pittsburgh, pay attention to your news stations. There's going to be a couple of announcements and some press releases. So be there for that. And YBMKQ.
Yes.
Sunday the 19th.
Sunday the 19th. I think it's at the Grayson Center, right?
I believe it's at the Grayson Center is having a thing, a giveaway for our toys. So if you are someone who's been impacted by this pandemic or someone who's just working class and doesn't have support and resources to provide your youth, Christmas gifts, go to YBMKQ's page and sign up for their toy giveaway.
Right.
As well.
Or their website, YBMKQ. They do it every year. It's a lot of love. It's food. It's Santa's. I think last year they had somebody cutting the hair. But yeah, so support YBMKQ. It's this Sunday. If you know families impacted that might need some gifts, it's from 12 to 4. I believe it's at the Grayson Center. But if you go on YBMKQ's page or ybmkq.org, their website, they'll have all the information there. So shout out to them and the great work that they continue doing in the community. So until 2022. What do we say, Farouk?
Don't say that. Don't say that shit. I'm out of here. This nigga fucking with me.
Right.
Maybe next year the light skin sensitivity will be moved from my brother Farouk.
Absolutely. We'll hope so. All right, we'll see y'all in 2022. Peace, y'all.
Peace out, y'all.
Love y'all.
Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and they wipe their mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the Whitest House, where every room is a tomb that